Video we will learn how to create a bar chart, starting with basic. Then we will learn how to change the width of columns in a bar chart, then changing color, then the alignment, then stacking two columns in a bar chart, stacking multiple columns in one bar chart, and then how to add the legend. To start with Matplotlib, it is very important that you should have basic knowledge of pandas, and then you can start with Matplotlib. So here first you need to import Matplotlib so that you can create the charts. Here I have created a sample data set which is HSBC card, which is shown over here. This contains 4 columns. One is country, then volumes in millions, amount in billions, and the population of each of the country. Alright, so we will be using this data frame to create our bar charts. So let's start with this plt.bar. We're gonna say start the parenthesis operator, and here first we're gonna put the value which we want to show at x-axis. So that here I want to show countries at x-axis. Now what is the value that you want to use at y-axis? On y-axis I want to plot volume in millions, and then let's select this and run it. Here we go. Now here we have our first basic chart created. Now you must be thinking, how do we know what are the parameters to put where? For that you can just click on the bar chart, and from your keyboard you can just press Ctrl+I. This will show you the arguments accepted in this bar plot. Alright, now let's go back to the plot tab and try to change the width of this plot. How can we change the width of this plot? So for that you just need to type width equals to and provide the value by which you want to change the width. Let's say 0.5 and run this. Like you can see, the width has been reduced for each of the column in this bar chart. Similarly, if you want to change the color, how can you change that color? So you can just type color and put the value, put the name of the color. Let's say gray. The color has been changed to gray. So this is how you can change the color. Now what if we want to change the alignment? Before we change that, let's understand how the alignments work. So like if you can notice this thin line, this is in the center of this particular column. Similarly here, this thin line is in the center of this particular column. So this is the center alignment. When you change the alignment, this column will be at edge of this particular line. So there are two alignments which we can use over here. Center is the default alignment and edge is the alternative alignment which we can use over here. Let's see how can we do that. You just need to type align and then put the value edge. After putting that value, you can just create this. And now let me show you. If you can notice, previously this line was in the center. Now this is at the left, means the line is at the same place, column has been moved at the edge. Alright, so this is how you can change the alignment. If you want this alignment, you can keep this. I am just going to remove this because I particularly didn't like this. So I am just going to remove that alignment and let's keep as it is. We will learn how to stack the columns. So first column which we had used was ML, volume in millions. Now next we're gonna use is amount in billion. So when you run this, two columns will be created. Let's see what happens when you run these two lines. Alright, so if you can see, it has overwritten it, right? It has overwritten it. Like for India, you can see the value is 3 billion. For Canada, you can see the value is somewhere less than 3. Let's change the color so that billion could show in different color. Let's make it blue and try this. So on this country we can see two values, one is amount, the other one is volume. But for rest of the countries we can see that. Why? Because million value for UK, if you see, UK is the second last parameter. For that, volume is 1.9 while amount is 6 billion, which is more than the volume. So that's why it has covered the volume, right? So how can we fix that? For that you can just use the parameter bottom. Let's see how can we use that. You don't have to do much, just type bottom and put the value, put the column which you want to show in the bottom. So in the bottom I want to show this particular variable. At the bottom I want to keep this. I just don't have to put the comma over here. Like you can see this, if you notice, India and the this line is at 2 and then this line is at 3. So in total it makes 5, out of which 2 million, this indicates the volume, and from 2 to 5 this indicates amount. Similarly for Canada it's 1 for volume, and then the rest 2 is for amount. All right, so this is how you can stack 2 columns. Now let's see how can we stack 3 columns. So again, just copy this and paste it over here. Now what is the column which you want to put at the top? Population. I want to put at the top. So at the top we have population, at the bottom we have volume, but there is one more variable which we would like to include, which is amount in billion, right? So again, like previous, we had just one variable to put at bottom, but this time we have more than one variable, so we can use plus and we can paste the other variable name. Let me just bring it down so that it could clear. So like you can see here, at the top we have population, then at the bottom we have 2 columns, one is volume in millions, then other one is amount in billion. Similarly, you can put as many columns as you want in bottom list. All right, now select this and let's run this. All right, one mistake which we have made over here, we didn't change its color. So let's make it orange. And let's run this. So like you can see, at the top we have population, then we have amount, and then we have volume. So this is how you can stack as many columns as you want. But there is one problem. We have to focus to understand what color represents what column, right? For that, to solve this problem, we can use legends. How can we use that? So for that you just need to type plt.legends, and here in this you can provide the list of variables, list of columns which you want to show. Like first we have volume. So let's put volume over here. Then we have amount. It starts from bottom and will go to the top, and then we have population. Let's see. Let me put it in square bracket. Like you can see, so at the gray color indicates that its volume in million, then blue color represents its amount in billion, then orange color indicates its population. Alright, so this is how you can add the legends. If you want to change the position of legends, you can do that as well. How you can do that? Just use the location parameter, LOC, that's it, and then you put the value. What are the locations which we can use? Let's try upper right, and let's run this. Like you can see, the legends have been moved to upper right corner. Similarly, you can use center, lower right, lower left, and so on. In this video, we would learn how to create one pie chart basis on the data which we have. We will start with one basic pie chart and we will reach to the advanced level, which would be this. So the steps which we will be covering, the basic one, then we'll learn to add the values, then percentage, then we will learn to explode, add the shadows, explode all, change the color, and add the titles. All of these things we would learn one by one. Let's get started. So before we start, it is important that you should have basic knowledge in Python and you should have basic knowledge in pandas. Let's get started. First chart which we will start with is basic pie chart. Let's jump to the Python. So this is a Spider IDE which I'm using for Python. All right, so here before you proceed, it is important that you import this library, which is matplotlib.pyplot. Here I have one small data frame which is named as HSBC card. All right, and what does it contain? It contains 5 countries and number of customers this bank has in each of the countries. So for this data frame, we have to create a pie chart. Let's see how we can create that. For that, you just start with plt.py, all right, and open parenthesis. So to create the basic chart, which I just showed you over here, you don't need to do anything, just need to provide the value basis on which you want to create. So we want to plot this value, the number of customers by market, right? So this is the numeric value which we would be using over here as the first parameter. So when you are working in a Spider, and if you want to get the knowledge about anything, like if you want to get the knowledge what are the parameters in pi, then you can just you can click on this, you can put your cursor on pi and press Ctrl I. So here you would have all the information. Anyway, let's go ahead and see how we can start with. So first I'm going to put the name of my data frame, which is this, and then the variable which I want to use. The variable which I want to use is this, and there we go. Just select this and run this selection. Now we have the basic plot created over here. So this is the basic plot, most basic plot which you can create in Python. Now let's take it to the advanced level. What next we want to learn? Now this is the pie chart you have already created. Now you want to know which color represents which part, represents to which market. So for that you're gonna use labels. I will use labels. Again same, first my data frame, and then I'll provide the variable which contains the value of labels, that is countries. Just a spelling error. Now I can select this and click the run button. There you go. Like you can see, the labels have been added. Now what if you want to show the numbers? So these numbers which we had over here these numbers 2.0, 1.0. If you want to show these numbers in terms of percentage, how we can do that? For that we need to add auto PCT, and to add auto PCT, you're gonna tell Python populate the percentage. It will automatically calculate the percentage of this value, right? How you can say that? That you can say using this double percentage 1.2 f. So here we are saying display in 2 decimal value. F represents to float, and this is the percent. One more percent symbol we need to put over here. All right, and then let's run this. Here we go. Right, so this is how you can represent the percentage of your values. Now what if you want to separate the smallest part in this pie chart? Let's say Canada, right? If you want to separate this part from this pie chart, how you can do that? So for that you're going to use the explode parameter or argument, whatever you say. All right, so to provide the value for explode, it is important that you provide the value in tuples, right? So here in explode you're gonna put the numbers which should be equals to the number of items you have in your data frame. Like here we are using 5 items, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here you're gonna put 5 numbers over here, because for now let's put 0, 0, 0, 0 and 0. These are 5 numbers. Now you want to separate Canada. This is the smallest number. You want to separate this. Look at here, Canada is the second element. So come to the second 0 and put some value like 0.1. I'm going to put 0.1. Then you can just select this and click run button. Like you can see, this Canada is separated, this slice is separated. Similarly, if you want, you can increase its value like 1.5. Let's run this. This is more separated. Similarly, if you want to separate Japan, which is the last element, you can just do that as well, 0.2. Like you can see, Japan is also separated. So this is how you can explode it. Now to beautify this, to make it look more beautiful, slightly beautiful, we can just add the shadows. All right, and you don't need to do much, just say true and let's run this. Here we go. Like you can, if you can observe, let me just make it bigger so that you could see. Now you can see here we have shadows added. All right, so this is how you can beautify it, by adding shadows. All right, now let's see what next do we have. Next, if you want to change the color, how you can choose that, how you can do that? Colors. So here you just need to provide a list of colors which should be equal to the number of items you have provided over here and over here. All right, so let's put, so here we have 5 items, so you're gonna put 5 colors over here. All right, so first color is red, then I'll put magenta, then I'll put green, then I'll put blue, and then I'll put purple. Let's count if these are 5 or more. These are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now let's run this. Here we go. Like you can see, the colors have been changed. Now the last thing which I would like to add over here is title. What if you want to, so if you have many charts created in your visualization, so possibly you would like to add some title over here which will differentiate one particular pie chart from the others. So what you can do, that is very simple, just write plt.title and put the title in parenthesis operator and in single or double quotes, whatever you want, right? Number of customers by countries. All right, and now let's run this entire patch. So like you can see here, we have added number of customers by countries. All right, Canada, India. So this is how you can create the pie chart, start from the basic and take it to the advanced level. Let's have a look again. So here we added labels, then we saw how to add the auto percentage, then we saw how to explode one piece, how to add shadows, then how to explode multiple or all pieces, and then how to change the color, and then how to add the title. In this video, we will see how to create the scatter plot. One basic scatter plot we will start with. Then we will see how to change the color of the markers. Then we will see how to change the size of markers in a scatter plot, shape of the markers, changing shape of the markers in a scatter plot. Then we will see how to use 2 columns, in fact 3 columns in a scatter plot. And here we can see how to use more than 2 columns, I mean the value which have been plotted over here, not about this one. All right. Then we will see how to add the legends. Then we will learn how to add the axis. Like you can see here, the x-axis and the y-axis name has been added. Then at the end we will learn how to add the chart titles. The purpose of this video is not to explain more about scatter plot. What is a scatter plot, when and how do we use this, when should we use this, but still I'm gonna give you an overview. We usually use the scatter plot to see the spread of the values. For example, if you are using certain variable in a scatter, what is the spread of data values? Then it also helps us to observe the relationship between given variables, between the variables which have been used in a scatter plot. You can see how the variables are related to each other. To understand this thing, it is very important that you should have at least basic knowledge of pandas or data frames. So here I have imported matplotlib. In the same fashion, you can also import it. If you are using Jupyter Notebook, do not forget to use this parameter matplotlib inline. Otherwise, you will get a separate window for each of the plots. So here we have cards dataset, which has 4 columns: number 1 countries, then volume, which means number of customers in each of the country in millions, then amount in each of the country in billions, then population of each of the country in again billions. All right, so let's start how to create a scatter plot. As usual, we will use plt dot scatter. Before I proceed further, let me explain how you can know what all are the parameters that we can use in a scatter plot. So here there are many more parameters which you can use in the scatter plot. All right, but here in this video we will cover only those which are essentials to create a scatter plot and most commonly used. So let's start with, for example, we want to see the volume of customers in each country. How is that spreaded? So what can we do? We just need to provide the x value and the y value. On x-axis we're gonna plot countries. So cards is our data frame and country is one variable, or you can say column, into that data set, which I am going to plot at x-axis. And then on y-axis I will plot volume, which is number of customers in millions. And then we will see how does the plot looks like. Here we go. Now Once you have done this plotting, if you wish that these marker size are too small, you can change the size of this marker. How you can change this? Just put a comma, put S, or maybe you can write size, and here I'm just going to use 200, and let's see what happens. Like you can see, the size has been changed. Similarly, if you want, you can change the color. Let's say I want to make it green, so you can make it green. See, the markers color have been changed into green. Now if you want to change the shape of the markers, these are circles. If you don't like this, you can change the shape as well. How you can change that? Just you need to type shape, sorry, not shape, marker. You just need to write marker, and in the quotes you can put anything. For example, here I'm just going to put V for victory. I'm just putting V, and let's see what happens. Like you can see, it's down triangle, right? Similarly, if you use the exponential, then you will get upper pyramid. All right, if you want, you can use P. Let's see what happens when you use P. It gives you a plus. I'm just going to use X over here and see, like this. So this is how you can use all of these options. Now here we just use one column. What if we want to include more columns into that? How can we do that? So for that, you just need to create another one, and here this time I'm going to use amount in billions, and this time I am going to use the down pyramid, and color I want to use red. So just change those things and run it. There, it's something wrong. Okay, I just need to type small v. Capital V is not acceptable over here. Like you can see, the other amount in billion column has been plotted over here. Now let's try to include one more column into this. Here I'm gonna use population, and the color I'm just going to make blue, and here I'm going to try exponential, which will create an upper pyramid, and let's run this. Like you can see, so this is how you can see how what is the relation, like if. So this is how you can create one scatter plot. Now let's see how can we add the legends. For that, you just need to do plot plt dot legend, and into this you can supply the list of legends. For example, volume in ml, then amount in billion. It will automatically name the colors and shapes, then the population. Let me run this. Like you can see, volume in X represents to volume in ml, lower pyramid represents amount in billion, and upper pyramid represents population in billions. So this is how you can add the legends in your chart, in your scatter plot. Now let's see how can we use the x-axis and y-axis title. All right, axis title. For that, you just need to use plt dot. It's very simple. Press X and you'll get X labels. Into that you can write whatever you want to show at this x-axis. So apparently these are the country's name, so we can just type country. Similarly, we can use Y labels, and here on Y label we are showing the values. Sorry. So you can just run this, and like you can see here values have been written and here countries have been written. Similarly, you can add plot title as well. Let's see how we can do that. Title. So what is this chart about? It's all about credit card information. Cards information. Cards information. Let's select all of them and let's select all of them and run this. So like you can see, cards information has been written over here. So this is how you can add the title. So the point which needs to be noted here is, if you want to include many other columns, you just need to do these things repetitively, and when you are running that, you just need to run the entire patch together. Then you can achieve a scatter plot which will be a combination of multiple columns. So this is how it is simple, and it's the simplest way of creating a scattered plot, right? So you can just refer to this video, and you can create all of these variations in a scatter plot, these things as well. Video, we will see a brief of box plot or a whisker plot. Both of these two things are same, and majorly we will cover how to create a box plot in Python. So let's have a quick look at its definition. So it says this provides a summary of supplied data which includes the information like mean, median, minimum, maximum, first quartile, third quartile, and the outliers. Now if you find these words like aliens, don't worry, in our upcoming videos we will be covering each of these things in detail. However, if you are interested in learning it now, you are welcome to explore it on Google and try to understand it. Moving forward, we will see how to create this box plot in our Python. Here in this video, we're gonna see how to create a box plot. Before we proceed with the procedure on how to create it, let's understand what does it represents. So this lower line over here, this represents to minimum value in the supplied data. This starting age of this box, this represents to the first quartile. Then this line which splits the box into parts, this represents to the median of the supplied data. The end age of this box plot represents to the third quartile, and this top line represents to the maximum value in the supplied data. Now you must be wondering, what is this green line? What does it represents to? So here is the answer. This represents to the mean. This is an optional thing which you want, if you want you can include. By default it does not comes. Box plot also shows you the outlier in supplied data. Now what does this outlier means? Again, that will be covered in our upcoming videos, but for now if you are interested, you can just Google it and try to understand what this outlier means. Now let's go ahead and see how can we create a basic box plot in our Python. So here I have a data frame named cards. If I have to show you a quick view, this represents countries, volume, amount by each country, and then population of the each country. Now we're gonna create a basic box plot. How can we do that? So like, remember, when you are creating any kind of chart, and if you want to create that using Matplotlib, it is very important that you import Matplotlib over here. And if you are working in Jupyter Notebook, then do not forget to include this line, right? This will help you to keep populating charts in the same window. Now coming back to this point, so you're gonna write plt.boxplot, box plot. So by default you get this suggestion, you can just hit enter. Now come to this option and press Ctrl I. This will show you the all detailed parameters of a box plot, what all are the parameters are accepted in this syntax, right? But here we're gonna just cover the things which are most frequently used. If you are interested in learning each one of these options, I strongly recommend you to go to this website, which is the page for Matplotlib, and refer to all of these options, learn all of these options in detail, and you can use that further. All right, so moving forward, after writing plt.boxplot, you're gonna supply a series of numbers, just one variable. So that variable I'm going to pick from cards data frame. So here we go. Then I am just going to supply this amount in billion. That's it. This will create a basic box plot for myself, right? So where that will display, that will be displaying over here. So let's quickly select this and run the selection. So here we go. Now here we have our basic box plot created. Like you can see over here, the basic box plots had been created. So here it says the minimum value is less than 2, which is somewhere 1. So in amount billion, the 1 represents to the 1 is the minimum value. Maximum value is 10. Here it goes 10. When you take a median of this, it will come somewhere 4, right? So here is the 4, like it represents to the median, and this is first quartile, this is second quartile. Like I said, if you're interested in learning all of these statistical terms, then feel free to Google it. Otherwise, just wait for our upcoming videos. So here we go. Now let's check the outlier. So as of now, the data sets most likely, though it is not, but somewhat it is in sync. Let's increase the value of this particular amount, right? So from 10 billion, I increased it to 12 billion. Now let me just run this. Now let me run this box plot once again. Like you can see here. So this 12 is way too far from the range of data which we have supplied. The range of data which we have supplied is 1 to 6. Minimum is 1, maximum is 6. But 12 is just double of the maximum value in the given range. So that's how it becomes an outlier, and that is displayed over here. If you want to change the symbol of this outlier, you can do that as well. How can you do that? Just type SYM equals to and put the initial of the color which you want to use and then the symbol which you want to use, right? Let's see. I'm going to change everything and both of these two things. Like it has been changed to plus and the color is red. Similarly, if I want to make it blue, I can make it blue, right? If you know that your data has outlier but somehow you just don't want it to be displayed, what you can do, you can just keep it blank. Just keep it blank and this will not show the outlier. So this is how you can hide the outlier from your data. All right, so this was the basic thing. Now let's see how can we show the mean into this. So let's use the option show means and make it true. Let's run this. Like here, this one indicates the mean, which is somewhere 5. If we include 12. So but this certainly would not be making it comfortable enough for you. So what you can do, you can draw a line as well. So how can we do that? Just type mean line equals to true and then run it again. So like you can see, the mean line has been created over here. So this represents to the mean. So this is how you can create a box plot. Now sometime you might be interested in seeing this box plot horizontally, not vertically. So how can you do that? Just type vert. You get an option which is called VERT, which is a short form of vertical, right? You're gonna make it false. By default it is true, but when you make it false, that will make the box plot horizontal, like you can see over here. All right, it just swaps the axis. So this was the box plot based on one variable. Now if you want to include multiple variables, like if you want to create the box plot for multiple variables in the given data frame, how can you do that? So for doing that, to do that, what you're going to do is just supply the list of all the variables which you want to include over here. Remember to put double square bracket. Like if you can notice over here, I'm using double square bracket, so do not forget to use that, right? By separating with comma, you can include all of the variables which you want to include in your box plot. So similarly, like this, population. So this I have included over here. To make it visible, let me just bring it here. All right, so this is how it has been arranged. And now let me just quickly run this for you. Select it and run this. Here we go. Like we can see all of these three box plot has been created for all of these three variables separately. Now saying 1 2 3 creating a confusion, what I mean which box plot represents to which variable. You have to put your mind for each of the variables, so which you can do if you have less number of variables. But what if you have many number of variables? How can you do that? Just include labels and supply the list of variables which you have included over here in the same sequence. So what I'm gonna do, just copy and paste that over here, and let's run this. Now like you can see, this box shows the population, this one for volume, and this one is for amount. Now if you want to make it vertical again, just come to this vert option and make it true, or maybe if you want you can just remove that parameter. Select this and run this. Here we go. Now this has again been converted into vertical. Video we will see how to create a line chart or a line graph starting from a basic. Then we will see how to add multiple lines in the same line chart or line graph. Then we will see how to add markers, then changing the line width, changing the marker size, changing the color of marker, and then changing the edge color of markers, changing line style, and then adding legends, adding grids into the line graph. And then we will see how to add axis labels on x-axis and y-axis. Then we will see how to add the chart title. So let's go to the Python IDE and start looking into it, how to start creating a basic line chart. So here as usual we have a basic data frame, small data frame with 5 or 6 observations, which I have created with the help of pandas. And to create any chart with the help of matplotlib, as you know, you have to import matplotlib like this. And if you are working in Jupyter Notebook, as usual, do not forget to include these lines, which will help you to keep the chart in same window. Now let's go ahead and start with a basic line chart. plt.plot. So every time you have seen that you have to write the chart name which you want to create, but here you don't need to write any chart name, simple plot. You just need to write a simple plot, and then you have to supply the data for x-axis and y-axis. Let me take you here. So if you look at this place, so this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So what is the data which we want to plot at x-axis and what is the data you want to plot at y-axis? That's something we need to think of and supply, right? So like you just saw in the image, at the x-axis we need to supply countries, and on y-axis we will start with volume in millions. All right, so let's put the x-axis value cards, and then which we want to plot over here is countries. And then now it comes to y-axis value. So for y-axis we're gonna use volume in millions, And let's select this and run the selection. Like you can see, the basic first line graph has been created. Now it comes to including multiple lines in the same line graph. How we can do that? So for that, you just need to supply a list of all the columns which you want to include over here. So that you can do one by one here. Remember, I'm showing you this with the help of data frame. You can also do this with the separate list, right? But here I'm just doing this with the help of a data frame. So once you created a list, just do not forget to enclose that in double square bracket like you can see over here. All right, so select this line and click the execute button. Like you can see, it has created 3 different lines for all of these 3 variables. Python automatically decides the color for each of the line. Later on, I'll be showing you how you can change the line colors as per your wish, right? But for now, let's go with this. Now, once this is created, this is creating some kind of confusion. You are not able to figure out which line represents to what value. All right. So for that, we're going to use legends, plt.legends, and into that, you just need to supply the list of variables which you have used for y-axis. Just apply this and run these both statements. Like you can see, this thing has been created over here. So let me just create some gap over here, and now let's look on next part. What is it which we're gonna look over add over here? Now let's add marker. How can you add the marker? So you simply need to type marker and put the shape whichever you want to add over here. So I'm gonna include circular marker. All right, just select this and run these 2 lines so that you would have the legends included. Like you can see, the markers has been included over here. All right, so you can change the marker shape. How can you know what all are the marker shape available in this matplotlib? You can just refer to this site, which is the official page for matplotlib. I'll be providing you the link in description. Just refer to that and you can get to know the acceptable list of markers, and you can choose any one of them over here. All right, let's say if you want to make it diamond shape marker. All right, how you can do that? Just type D and this will be created. I'm going to keep it like circular. All right, and then once the marker is created, like if you want to change the line size, line width, you can also do that. Line width, let's say I'm gonna make it 5. Like you can see, the line width has been changed. So this line width covers the marker. We are not able to see the marker. Don't worry, we have the option to change the marker size as well. Marker size. So let me make it 10 and let's see what happens. So the marker size has been changed. Now if you want to make it more fancy, so you can change the marker color as well. So we have 2 kinds of color in marker. One, the fill, I mean the color which has been filled inside this circular marker shape, that you can also change, and you can change the line color of this marker. Let me show you one by one. So first, let's change the marker face color. Marker face color, and then you can either write the initial of the color or you can just write full color name. So I'm just going to make that white. Let's run that. So like you can see, the marker face color has been changed. Now you understand what does face color means, right? Now let's say if you want to change the marker's boundary color, which is called the edge color. So how can you do that? First you need to type marker edge color and then provide the color which you want to make. So I am just going to make it black. Let me write it black. This might get confused with blue and black, so that's why I wrote it incomplete. So there it has made it completely black. So this is how you can change the marker's color as well. Now let's change the line style. So line style, here I'm just going to show you one dashed. So like if you want to change the line style, this is the regular line. If you want to change it into dashed or something like that, that you can also do. So you just need to type line style and provide the line style name and just run that. So here, like you can see, line style has been changed. Now you must be getting a question, what all are the line styles acceptable over here? What all are the line styles which can be used in this particular chart? So again, that information you can get from here. I'll be providing the list, I'll be providing the link of this particular site into the description. Do not forget to check that out. All right, so line style you can check out from here, and then you can use accordingly whatever you want to use in your chart. All right, so let's go back over here, and then let's see how can we add the grid lines, which makes it more meaningful, which makes a line chart more meaningful. Let me say plt.grid, and you just need to say true. That's it. And once you run this, here we go. Now we have the grids added. Now let's see how can we add the x-axis and y-axis title. plt.x label, you just need to say x label. On x label, what is it that you're showing? You're showing countries. So let me just put countries over here, and then I will put the y label. So for y label, what are the things which are available on y label? So we just gonna say values, right? So this can be anything like population and volume and amount. There are three things which are showing over here, so I'm just gonna say values. All right, now let's run this. Like you can see, values has been written over here, y-axis, and countries at x-axis. Now the last thing in this sequence, I will be putting just the chart title. Let's see how can we do that. I need to say plt.title, and then let's put the title name, cards information, and then select the statement and just hit run button. Run this selection. Like you can see, cards information has been written over here. All right, so this is how you can create a line chart. You can change the appearance of it. Now there is one thing which I said in the beginning, that you can change the line color as well, right? So let's see how can we change that. Okay, let's try color and say red. Let's run this. Let's see what happens. So like it changed the color of all the lines, which does not make any sense. So what we're gonna do for that, if you want to keep line colors as per your wish and different for each of the line, then in one statement you cannot include multiple variable names. You're gonna keep just one name at a time. All right, so let me just select this and paste it 3 times, and rest of the things I am going to keep same. But from here I'll just delete remaining 2 columns. From here I'll delete this and this, and from here I will just keep the last one. All right, let's see if that works with double square bracket or not. If does not work, then we will change that. Let me change the color of each of the line, red, blue, and green. I'm just going to make it red, blue, and green, and let's run this. Wow, so this has been changed. So this is how you can change the line color as per your wish. Stack plot or area chart. Usually we use this stack plot or area chart in case of showing the progression by time, that is time series. So whenever we are working on time series data, and if we are supposed to show the progression by time, we use area chart. Now you must, if you have seen the video on line chart, or if you have already worked on line chart, you must be thinking that's what we also do in case of line chart. So you are right, it's just a different way of representation, but it works most likely a line chart. So this is how we represent this. We will start with how to create a basic area chart or a stack plot in Python using Matplotlib, and then we will add some advancement to it, like changing the color, using multiple variables, adding legends, etc. We will also see how to use the baselines in area chart or stack plot. Let's go to the Python IDE and see how to do this. So here I have created a basic data set which shows a bank data where it is representing the changes in products like cards, mortgage and VAF by year, right? Like starting from 2015 and ending at 2020. The values are in millions. Let's start with creating a basic stack plot or area chart. We say plt.stack plot, and so if you look at if you want to see what all are the arguments, just need to click over this and press Ctrl+I. So here it says provide X value which you want to show at X-axis, then arguments, then labels, colors, baseline, data, etc. and quirks. Quirks stands for keywords or key arguments, right? So first we're gonna provide the X-axis value, which is years from the broad data frame, and on Y-axis we want to show the changes in product called cards. Let me switch to the plot tab and run this selection. So here we have the first stack plot created, or you may call it area chart created. So this just shows the changes in cards by the years. Now if you want to show legends so that you could understand what does this represented, what is it represented over here, for that you can just add plt.legend, and in the parenthesis operator you can just provide a list of values which you want to show over here. Let me run this. Like you can see, cards is added over here. Now let's see how we can include multiple variables. Whatever variables you want to include into this particular stack plot, you just gonna put them here one by one. Let's see, broad, and then other product which we're gonna use is mortgage, and then the next variable which we want to use is VAF, and these three products or these three variables needs to be included in legend list as well. So here we're gonna say mortgage, and then the next one we're gonna say is VAF. Select this and run this. So like you can see, all the three variables has been plotted in one stack plot or in one area chart, and on the X-axis you can see years are plotted, and each of this area represents to each of the product. This one represents to cards, then orange one represents to mortgage, and then green one represents to VAF. Now let's see how we can change the colors. Nothing much, just gonna provide a tuple of colors. So you have plotted three variables, you need to provide three colors. Let's say red, green and blue. Let's run this. Alright, so now you can see the color have been changed. There is one more thing which we can do with area plot or stack plot, and that is called changing the baseline. Now what are the baseline which we can use over here? That you can check out from it's Matplotlib's official website, which is this. I'll be providing the link into the description section. Just check it out and you can see the definition of each of the baselines, I'm going to use sim, which stands for symmetrical. Alright, symmetrical to 0. So sometime you might wish to show the values in negative as well as in positive. So in that situation you can use sim. So this is how you can create stack plot or area chart in Python using Matplotlib. Histogram. There are many ways in which this has been defined on the web, but if you read them all and if you summarize them, you can conclude majorly this, which says graphical representation of the spread or distribution of supply data. You can also say that it is also used to see the frequency distribution, that is to know how often each unique value in the supplied data occurs. So this is where we use the histogram. So we will start with creating a basic histogram, then we will understand what is binning, and then we will learn how to do formatting of the histogram. And the most important part, here we will see how you can create the separate histogram for each of the variable in a supplied data set. Let's say if you have a data set which has all variable numeric, and if you want to create the and which has 20 variables, and you want to create separate histogram for each of the variable, how can you do that? Every time you don't have to create that, you can just use a technique and you can do that, right? So let's see how we can do that. Let's start with the basic one. So here we have Boston data. So here we have Boston data, and let's see what is the shape of this data. This Boston data has 506 observations, that means rows, and 13 columns. So if you want to use this Boston data, so this is the existing data in Python, right? So if you are looking at the syntax, you can just use this syntax to load this particular data from Python, sklearn dataset library. So you use this complete syntax. Now we're going to use age variable out of this. Let's see what all are the columns which we have available in Boston dot columns, you're going to say, and then let's read that. So these are the columns which we have available in Boston dataset. So I'm going to use age variable to create a sample histogram. How can we do that? Let's say plt, and you're going to say hist. That's it. And into this you need to supply the variable which you want to use. So from Boston I want to use age variable. Okay, and let's run this. Here we go. Now here we have our age data plotted in the histogram, in the form of histogram. All right, so now it is making difficult to understand what where does one column ends, right? So to differentiate that, if you just change the color of lines of each of the bar, then it will help you understand. So let's change age color, and let's say black. You can also say it EC. Oops, the spelling was incorrect. Here we go. Now you can clearly see, you can clearly differentiate each of the bars in this chart, right? Between 40 to 60 years, we have somewhere 35 plus 40, somewhere 75 people between 40 to 60. All right. So this is how you can use a bar graph, a histogram, to read the frequency, or you can see the distribution. Now let's understand the binning concept. What is this binning? Here you see in the interval of 0 to 20, you just see 2 bars only, right? So you can either understand, this can be somewhere here it is 2, and this can be somewhere
15 to 20, or maybe this could be 10 to 15. So you can say this 10 to 15 we have somewhere 18 people, and 15 to 20 we have somewhere this 35 people. All right, so these many people are there. We have these many people into this bracket. But what if you want to increase this number of columns and you want to identify each of the bar separately? So for that you don't need to do much, just say bins. Bins equals to, let's say, 10. Let's say how many bins it becomes. It is already 10, I guess. Let's make it 20. Now you can see, like you can see, so we have columns representing different age separately. Like this one is separately representing to the people who are 20 years old. So this is how you can change the beans as well. Now here you see it is showing a default interval which says 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, and 80 to 100. So it is taking the range. So in the age variable, the minimum age which we have is 2 years old, and the maximum age which we have is 100 years old, right? Let me show you how is how correct is that. For that you can just use Boston dot age, and then you say, let me put this, let's see here we go. So here you can see the minimum age is 2.9 and the maximum age is 100 years. All right, so now you have this interval over x-axis. All right, what if you want to create your own interval? What if you want to create just 4 intervals and you just want to see in the bracket of 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100, and so on? So how can you do that? So for that you're gonna provide a list of intervals over here. How can we do that? So let's say 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100 and 50 people. So like you can see, though the interval have been changed, but still here at x-axis it is showing the previous older interval only. How can we change that? So for that you're going to use plt dot x ticks. All right, and in the x ticks you need to provide this list, the interval list. Now you can see this from 0 to 25 you have 50 people, 25 to 50 you have somewhere 100 people, 50 to 75, and this is how it is, right? So on. So this is how you can change the interval using the beans. You can change the number of columns in a histogram using beans parameter. All right, and like as usual you can use plt dot x label to say age interval. You can just provide the x title like age intervals, and then you can say plt dot y label, and you can say counts, and then you can provide the title, which is, and you can say age distribution. You can set the age distribution, and then you can simply run this. Here we go. Here we have everything written. All right, so this is how you can create a histogram. Now let's say if you want to change the bar color, how can you do that? So for that you don't have to do much, just say color, and you put the color name. Let's say I want to make it green. Okay, let's run this. So here the color has been changed. Now the most interesting part, which I showed and promised you to show at the end of this video. Now the time comes in and we're gonna see how can we create separate histogram for each of the variable in Boston dataset. So before we start that, let's delete all of the previously created histograms, right? And let's see what all are the variables that we have in entire data set, and then let's see what all are the columns which we have. All right, so these are the columns which we have in Boston dataset. Now, to understand uh, to understand how we're going to create it, it is important that we first check the data type of each of the variable. Let's try info. Sorry, let's try to use the info option over here. Info, and let's see what does it shows. Here we go. So like here you can see everything is float. So now you understand that all of the variables, all of the 13 variables in this particular data set are numeric data frame, right? So what we can do, we can just create a list of all the columns, and then we can see how we're gonna create automatically a separate histogram for each of the variable. Let's say columns, and let's say this is the list of columns. All right, now I am going to create, so what is it that we actually require to create a histogram? We just need to say plt.hist. All right, and here we need to provide the variable name, which is from Boston, and here you just need to keep on changing the variable's name one by one, and that will keep on showing. For example, prime. All right, and at the bottom plt.show, I'll say show, and before that I will put the title. In the title I'm just going to use the variable name itself. All right, let's try to run this. So here we have the first one created. So similarly, you can change the variable names over here, and you can have a separate histogram for each of the variable in the Boston dataset. Now, so this is something which you can do manually. How can you do that automatically? So for that, you're gonna use for loop for I in columns, and let's say the alignment, we just need to change it this, and this we're just gonna change this variable name with I. All right, before we run this, let's close this previously created one, and then select this, and boom, sorry, something went wrong. Oh, it says PTL. It's not PTL, it's PLT. Title should be PLT. Now let's run this. Here we go. Boom. Like you can see, it's creating a separate histogram for each of the variable.